Hey, okay, so disease progression is going to be our next topic. And this one is a little bit tricky because there's no way to tell whether it's going to stop. It could just randomly stop, or if it's going to continue. And disease progression is the scariest part because it could be a really, really slow progression. It could be something that just totally rocks your world and just turns it upside down and debilitates you. It's horrible. Something that is completely in God's hands that they are trying to find solutions for medically. Currently, a lot of the solutions that they have scare the crap out of me, and I don't know that I want to go down that avenue. But there are other ways, nutrition, exercise, things like that, that Dad and I are looking at to explore as far as ways to help hopefully slow down or stop progression so that we don't have to worry about this going much further. We really want this to stop. We want it to just go away, and the progression hopefully ends here. We don't want this to go anywhere. We don't want this to keep growing. We don't want this to... I don't want to end up any further than where we're at. One thing I wish I would have done is, over the years, just told the whole story to my doctors and said every single symptom and not just one thing that I thought was the most important. You know, if my head hurt worse than my stomach, or, you know, if I had an itchy foot versus a headache, and whatever. Just if you have multiple symptoms, even if they don't make sense together, tell your doctor all of them all at once, because you don't know what they know. They're doctors for a reason. They get paid to know those things. Tell your doctor everything. They could save your life. They could help you along the road to maybe slow down a progression of some horrible disease. You don't know. I truly, truly hope none of my children ever have to go through this. And hopefully nobody else's children will ever have to go through this. So back to progression, right? It's how the disease is growing or not growing, and how it affects the body, and whether or not its growth has a toll on the person is completely what the progression is, right? So with the neurological diseases, the progression is pretty big if it essentially is in the brain in certain areas. With mine specifically, with the thought process and numbness, tingling, the whole right side. It can be frustrating. It's definitely something I've dealt with for a really long time now, but being pregnant with Ennis, I got to have my body back, and it truly was amazing. I felt like a kid again. I never remembered how nice it was to not be in pain. And after I had him and it hit me again and my body just kind of went back to where it was, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, this is what I was going through and thought was normal for so long. And now it's only been a couple of months, and again, it's normal. And it's so crazy to me that the things that I'm going through that somebody else would be going nuts through is normal. Like, the numbness that I feel is like when your foot falls asleep. That's what I feel all along my right side. So if your foot falls asleep next time and you poke it and touch it and it feels really, really obnoxious and you want to like punch somebody in the face because they touch your foot when it falls asleep, that's my whole right side. So to me, it's normal, but to you, you would be going crazy. And it's absurd that, like, to me, I'm just like, yeah, okay, this is my everyday life, right? This is how crazy this disease is. This is what it does to people. This is why people who have neurological diseases have mental issues, because they have to deal with things like this. Progression is crazy. Absolutely crazy.